Hey you,
Me?
are you tired of losing objectives?
Oh yeah.
Is the enemy top laner taking your blue buff? Well then watch this video, and you'll learn how to do things like this. Okay, enough of that foolishness, let's get down to the video. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I consider probably one of the top 3 most important and fundamental aspects of League of Legends to understand, which is general awareness. Now you're probably thinking, wow, general awareness, that is literally the most vague term I could come up with. Well, I'm going to go ahead and break it down into a couple simple categories of general awareness, and I'm going to teach you how to apply those to gain a further heightened sense of overall general awareness. Now first things first, let's discuss how to properly use the minimap. The minimap is easily the most important aspect of general awareness. The minimap gives you a complete overview of the entire battlefield in League of Legends. Now you're probably thinking, well, using the minimap, that's not something we really need to discuss. You just look at it, right? Well, looking at the minimap is a lot more complicated than it may sound, and I'm going to explain why. Most people have an extremely bad habit, and that is not looking at the minimap. Now, I'm going to go over some rules of how to better have an awareness through using the minimap. Now, rule 1 is glance at the minimap at least once every 10 seconds at a minimum. Now, once every 10 seconds may sound like a lot, but I want you to really think about that with me for a second. Let's go ahead and count down exactly how long 10 seconds is, and you'll see that 10 seconds is actually a long time not to look at the minimap. So let's go ahead and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, as you probably saw, it's actually a long time not to look at the minimap. Me, myself, personally, I tend to look at the minimap maybe once every 2 seconds. Sometimes even less if there's a lot of action going on. So, this is a really easy rule to follow. It sounds crazy at first, but once you really realize just how long 10 seconds is, then you'll see that it's a minimum rule, and you really should look at it more often. So what's the point of looking at the minimap that often? Well, let's go over some things that you may see. First of all, you're going to see if anyone's moving anywhere they shouldn't be. If mid lane is coming bot, if their jungler just showed by a ward, if top lane is teleporting somewhere. You'll also see people going towards objectives. You'll see Dragon being pushed towards, maybe Baron, maybe a buff, blue or red. And also, you'll see allies in distress. You may see someone running from someone, just 2 portraits moving the same way. One being red, one being allied. And what you do with this information can completely change the game. For example, stealing Baron could give you guys an advantage which helps you push and win the game. Seeing the jungle roam up top, and let's say you're bottom, you could push that bot lane in, get the tower, maybe get a kill, because you know you're not going to get ganked. Information is the most important thing in League of Legends, and general awareness is all about gathering information. Now let's talk about the second part of this that I have laid out, and that's, is it worth my time? Time is extremely valuable in League of Legends. As we have already discussed, not looking at your minimap for 10 seconds can be huge. So time management is extremely important. And now that we know how to look at our minimap and gather information from it, we can better manage our time. The easiest way to answer this question is by basic understanding of gold efficiency. So let's say you see their jungler walking through his upper blue jungle in your bot lane, because you have awesome wards, you can see their jungler. Now, you need to ask yourself, let's say you have a huge wave here, you push the enemy AD carry and support out, it's just you're farming, let's say it's two waves worth of minions you're farming, and you see their jungler is at his big wraith, not big, what is that thing, his white, there you go. It's that new jungle minion, man. He's at his white. So, and let's say the jungler has no buff. So a no buff enemy jungler is killing his white. Let's say he's 0-0-0. It's fairly early in the game. So you need to ask yourself, let's make it even sort of a harder decision. Let's say he has like 100 HP. You need to ask yourself, what is more gold efficient? Killing their jungler or taking 2 waves of minions? Now kills are generally pretty good, but in this case I would say you're better off pushing your wave, because you're not only getting gold from 2 waves of minions, you're also pushing your wave to the enemy tower, denying your AD carry gold. Now let's talk about the final section, seeing the future. Now you may be thinking, seeing the future, you know, what am I, a wizard? We're gonna use the general awareness that I've been talking about to somewhat predict the future. Now here's how we're gonna do that. When you're looking at the minimap, once every, at a minimum, 10 seconds, like I've told you should be able to see the movements of the enemy pretty easily. You should be able to see where top is, where jungle has been showing, bot lane, if mid is roaming, and you're going to use all that like I was talking about, and you're going to put all that together, and in your mind you're going to try to predict the future. So for example, in the clip that's rolling right now, you saw me hit a blind W on Annie. Now that's a fairly common thing to do, but it's a good place to start in talking about predicting the future. So the way I did that was, in my mind, I used her last known movements, which was straight back, and I played that in my mind as if I could still see her, and then I threw the W where I predicted she would be, and she was there. I hit her. So that's one simple way that we can use the movement of our enemies to predict the future. Now another thing predicting the future is extremely useful for is positioning in team fights. Now this is something I'll go over in detail in another video, but just touching on it right now, one of the most important things to a team fight is being there. And if you're correctly having good general awareness, if you're looking at your minimap, if you're in a gold efficient spot, then you should be able to see when a team fight is coming together, and you should be able to get there. Now obviously I'm not going to just leave it at you should be able to get there. Some things to look for when the enemy team may be looking for a team fight is watch their AD carry. If their AD carry is farming bot, there's a good chance they're not going to team fight just this second. And if he's farming bot, that means he's showing. And if he's showing, using your general awareness and your map awareness, you can watch him and see if he moves towards the center mass of his team, you know, wherever 2 or more of his team are located. Another thing to watch for is top. Most of the time top is teleport, so if they have teleport, the only time you can really watch them is if you know their teleport's down, which, if you have good general awareness, you'll know if they've used their teleport. And if they have, then watching them is just like watching the AD carry. Watch for them to move towards the center mass. If they have teleport up, watch them is not going to really help you at all. You should probably just ignore them. Obviously, if they're pushing too far and send someone to still push them back. Another thing you can look for is objectives coming up. If a big objective has come up, like Dragon or Baron, and it's later in the game, either your team or the enemy team is most likely going to want that objective. And so you end up with the Baron dance or the Dragon dance. The team fights circulating around that area. So that's another thing to watch for when looking for a team fight. Alright, so I believe I've covered all the basics of general awareness. Like I said, this is a general video. I didn't touch in depth on any of the categories. I'll do that later on in other videos. But I hope that I was able just to instill in you just a little extra knowledge on how to keep up with what's going on in the game. As always, and I don't think this will ever change, this is Zarzy, and I give away free coaching. Feel free to email me at zarzycoaching@cyberservices.net. Send me replays, ask me questions, whatever. And if you want to see a specific video on something, I don't know, something random, you know, very specific, like how do I position T-mushrooms or something like that, feel free to leave a comment, message me, and if I get enough for something really strange like that, or like how to play 80s Soraka, then I'll do a video on it. For now, the next video I'm probably going to do is positioning in team fights. Alright, thank you guys.